And this is the view of the first room in the Tomb of Mashaq. Good morning, gamers, and welcome back. I am the AMDM Lee. This is my cup of coffee, and you're watching Bridgewater Knights. Oh, that is so good. So, again, I got it's a great camera. This is a really good camera. It's on my phone. It's better than the ones I bought for the laptop. Again, so I don't have the computer. It is still up there, right about. Stop trying to. Right there. No. Yeah, that's it. I think. Yeah, it's still sitting up there. So let me fill you in. What you just saw at the beginning there, that was the beginning of the Tomb of Mashaq. The players have made it inside. They were informed that there was a large gathering, festival size. And when the doors opened, there was a countdown, digital countdown, basically, hovering in the air. The doors opened, and just teams, very important. So now, as they were at the tipsy drow, just catching up and figuring out what to do, waiting for that message, Dajans, the owner of the Tipsy Drow, has basically asked him if he could sponsor him. So he's like, "Look, all your food and drink here is free. Just sponsor us. Let me be your sponsor so we can get the advertising." So they're now sponsored by the Tipsy Drow. So now these teams, lots of teams have been sponsored by various organizations. And they're all going, the doors open. Pitch blackness. Actually, no, it's not pitch blackness. They can actually see that room that you can see right there. Minus the trap in the center, and the one thing was actually standing up. Now, granted, this was a couple of days ago, so actually it's almost a week ago now. I haven't cleaned up the room. I gotta clean it up and pick it up before tomorrow's game. So, which would be today, I don't know, it's whatever. So they can just see into that room. They go into the room. There's bookshelves that have volumes, treatises on books of esoteric value. There's a fireplace. There's a chair in the middle of the room. There's a basin off to one side of the room that's filled with a black liquid that ripples every few moments as if a drop had landed in the center, rippling out. There is a mirror in the other corner, just quietly reflecting the room. And there's a stack of books on the floor. So Clay walks in the room. The whole group goes in. Now, as they've been watching people go in, everyone just seems to walk past the archway and disappear. So when they go in, there's no one else in the room except for them. The archway doors that were open closed. So they immediately Clay starts to go, well, I'm going to go check the other door. As soon as he gets in the middle of the room, dead center in the middle of the room, trap. Clay takes a couple of points of damage. And then okay, now we've got to check everything. So they're checking for traps. They don't find any traps. But this basin starts drawing the bard to it. And he's like, should I touch it? And then he goes, I want to touch it. And then he looks at me. And I'm like, are you sure you want to touch it? He immediately doesn't touch it. I couldn't resist. I had to say it, but it was a sphere of annihilation. It was going to be fun. So they check the books. They realize, the warlock realizes that the books are the ones missing on the bookshelf. It was a simple puzzle. So he puts all the books back in the bookshelf. The door unlocks. Very simple. I mean, it had to be a simple puzzle. Nobody checked the mirror. which is good because the mirror would have eaten them. So they go through the doors. Immediately on the other side of the doors is a bridge. I kind of like this ability to be able to walk around with this camera a little bit. So, immediately, there's a bridge. But across the bridge, they can see that over there. And basically, here's their perspective. They can see all that treasure and then those walls. Oh, don't look at that trash. So, now the treasure has... They see that over there. They look at it and they immediately go, nope, that's a trap. Without a doubt, that immediately just said, that's a trap. We're not going there. And of course, I couldn't help but laugh because I'm the DM and I know it's a trap. So they decided to head down the other passage into that room. He's a 10th level bard who can find traps like blinking. So they find the 4 or 5 traps that are in the hallway. Minor traps. This is the low level section. So they go through the door, and inside the door are 7 statues that are almost identical. They each have a weapon and they're armed like, ah! But they're all like frozen. They're dwarves, statues of dwarves. The big difference between them is they all have a different color associated with them. The colors relating to the colors of the rainbow. Roy Bagiv. Gabiv? I don't remember. I always get the G and the B mixed. So, oh, by the way, where all the treasure's at is on just like a stalagmite. Just a plateau out, nothing around it but sheer drop beneath it. The bridge is on a sheer drop, barely able to hold it up. As they cross it, a boulder swings by on a chain, almost knocking them off. Well, anyway, they get into the room. They realize very quickly the order that they have to be hit in. Well, when they activate the dwarves, the treasure turns into golems. And it turns into an iron serpent or an iron cobra, 2 iron cobras, an iron golem, and an iron guardian. So they hear this noise. They realize the dwarves aren't moving unless they touch them. So they come back around. The warlock, Grasp of Hadar, one of the serpents, pulls it right off the fucking cliff. And then with a second attack, pulls the other one closer to the edge. And then they proceeded to decide, oh, that's a much better way of getting rid of these monsters that are on a cliff that can't fly. Let's just push them off the edge. Now, granted, I'd already rolled initiative, and it was not very high. So they all got to go first, doing their little attacks. And Clay bum rushes Actually, I think Terad knocked the Iron Guardian, the Iron Golem down. And then Clay bum rushes the Iron Guardian, shoves him twice, takes him right off the cliff. At that point, besides me being slightly agitated, the theodometer, the thing in the center of the room with all the little planets, just starts to rotate and wakes up, and the portal turns on. So now the party's like, all right, this is awesome. Let's go finish the dwarves and we'll come back to this. They go beat through the dwarf thing. They picked that up fairly quickly. Well, there was also a message that said something about the rain in heaven, order on earth. They figured out the puzzle. They figured out the puzzle quickly once they realized the colors. They were like, oh, this is easy. So that door opens to pitch blackness. So the players are like, no, that's bad. The portal, that's the way we're supposed to go. I shunted them back to the entrance. Crescent moon now is on their wrists, and 2 empty crescent moons, kind of like saving throws almost. You fail 3 times, you're not allowed back into the tomb for 6 months. There are going to be raiding parties. Oh, by the way, and when you get kicked out, this is how the tomb rebuilds itself. Let me tell you a little bit about the tomb. This is going to be a little bit longer. So the Tomb of Mashaq is a self-perpetuating tomb. It was originally designed by this wizard named Mashaq, and he had already done all of his adventuring and was retired and was dying. So he's like, let's build this thing. I can't take all this stuff with me. Let's leave it for others. So he builds up this tomb, puts puzzles all over the place. If you succeed through the challenge that's there, you are given 1 item out of the treasure room. You are teleported to a treasure room, and you're allowed to take 1 item, 1 thing that you can pick up. And inside the treasure room, there are swords, there are maps, there are treasures, magic items, simple everyday items. There's just all of these things there that he had collected over hundreds of years. So, plot device whenever you need to get somebody somewhere. Oh, go to the Tomb of Mashaq. You found a treasure map there. It's in the tomb. Well, you get to pick any one of these items. Now, if you fail, one of your items is removed from you and added to the treasure. So, people going in getting items, people going in losing items. Well, the party each lost an item. They had found in there a collapsible boat, a bunch of scrolls, 4th level spells, and a +2 short bow. And they put those all in the bag of holding, which they had emptied out previously to make sure nothing happened. They put them in the bag of holding, stepped through the portal, and got shunted back to the front because the portal's also a sphere of annihilation. Most people don't die in this. They get shunted back to the outside, badly bruised and beaten, usually with half or less hit points, sometimes down to 1, sometimes making death saving throws. So far, they've not run across anything in the tomb that will kill them yet. Alright guys, this is already 13 minutes long. I'm cutting it short here. There's no graphics, there's none of that other stuff because I'm doing this from my cell phone and I don't want to do all the other stuff necessary to edit this video like that. So if you like the videos, please click on the like button. If you think someone else would like them, click on the share button. Every like is an inspiration, every share is an advantage, and every subscription is an experience point. Help me gain 300 experience points so I can get to 2nd level. Also, come check me out over on TikTok. I am the AMDM on TikTok. I do stupid duets and sing-alongs and comedy bits, and there's a great D&D community over there, which we talk about stuff and do videos and stuff, and they're real short videos for short attention spans, and they're not me rambling on for 15 minutes. Except now I get to ramble on for as long as I want on there. But I don't get to save it. So yeah, come check it out. So I got one last thing to say. Go forth and roll some dice. Button.